Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened?
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
The Barley Brew, proud sponsor of ProView Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron Catering is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering. Let us bring our kitchen to you.
Hey, welcome to Red Menace TV here on ProView Networks. Leroy Lucero along with Michael Carlisle. How you doing, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. I mean, I actually watched some of the national championship game and the Final Four game for the first time in probably a few years, as I actually had somewhat rooting interest.
You know there were 2 Final Four games, right?
Yeah, I know, but
You only watched one?
I watched one of the Final Four games, and then I watched a small part of the championship game.
Okay.
Mostly because I hate Texas Tech, and just wanted to see them lose.
Why do you hate Texas Tech?
It's the somewhat of a regional rivalry here.
Sure.
They always come in here and kick the snot out of the Lobos, usually in football, not in basketball. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I just don't like them because of that. I still remember way back in the day when the Lobo football team went out to Lubbock, and the horse died.
It happens.
Actually, it did happen.
Yeah.
And one of the craziest things ever, it was during halftime, and I can't remember what the horse's name was, but anyway, it was like no, it wasn't Ed, it was like Triple T or Double T or something. Anyway, they had this little girl riding it like the masquerader. She fell off, and the horse was like running around, so they tried to capture this horse. And there's a ramp as you're coming, where the players come out and stuff, and they had like a loose piece of turf covering it. So so at halftime they're trying to corral this horse. You would think they would know how to do that in Texas, but I guess not, because the horse ended up finding an escape. He went to go up that ramp and hit that loose turf, and full force just slammed into the side of a concrete. It was
horrible.
Crazy. So it was right here in front of us like this, right? The whole stadium shook. You would be shocked at the power. Maybe you're not shocked, but the power of the speed that horse was going, because he was full gallop when he slammed into the wall, because we were on this side of the stadium and it happened over there, and the whole stadium shook. And like and I shouldn't laugh, but like a scene out of Animal House, this horse slams into the wall, flips over on its back, all 4 legs are up, it twitches twice, and died. I mean, dead. And it's like right there.
That's how can you laugh at that? That is horrible.
I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but I mean, it's just like.
You are a bad man.
So they got a tarp, because they couldn't carry the horse out. I mean, they're heavy. Sure. And they couldn't drag it out. So they just got a tarp and they put it over the horse and tied the legs together with the tarp on it. So I guess the players don't know what's going on or what happened, because they're coming out at halftime and they're like looking at what's this thing tied up here, because it looks like a dressed turkey almost. It was the weirdest thing. Anyway, I've always, and then of course they came a few years later when Rocky was a coach and smoked them at halftime. It was like murder, and usually when the Lobos play Texas Tech, it's not a good time. So I love to see them lose.
Horrible story to start the show.
Well, I mean, come on, it's summertime. What else are we going to talk about? I do want to talk about this though, because this is something that I thought about. You watched the championship game, I know you did, because I tweeted you. I asked you, are you watching Raw, or are you watching the championship game? You said championship game. Funny, you have me muted, yet you still get my tweets. I don't know how that works.
I don't either. I just try to ignore them.
Okay. Well, you answered, so I guess
That
you don't ignore them. So the game turns basically on the one call. I mean, I know, there's all kinds of calls, but it was the one call where he's dribbling, and they go to the replay, and I mean, it's literally was like...
Ball hit off his pinky, yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
The game didn't turn on that. That
that was a big play.
It would probably be more accurate to say that play kept the game from turning, because...
No, because I think had Texas Tech had the ball, I think they at that point, wouldn't they have just inbounded it, probably been fouled because they were running out of time, and then try to hit a couple free throws. I mean, obviously other things happen, but it's just like, I mean, we're talking, I mean.
Do you agree the ball hit off his finger?
I do.
Okay.
I do. That's
okay.
right.
Then what's the problem?
My problem
they got the call
is
right, correct?
Yeah, I mean, but gosh, I mean, how? I guess for me, and obviously I'm an older sports fan. I remember watching games when there was no video replay. I mean, and part of the joy or part of the disgust and the anger and the hurt of being a sports fan is when you got screwed.
But they didn't get screwed. The call was right.
I know, but I mean.
See, here's the problem, Leroy.
Okay, go ahead.
During the whole football season, all you and we complained about officials not getting calls right, missed calls, that they go to replay and they still don't get it right. They got it right Monday night.
Yeah,
so you can't turn around and complain because they got it right. It was very unfortunate for Texas Tech.
I just don't like the whole video replay situation, I guess is what I'm saying. And maybe this is opening up a whole but like football, how many times is there a close call, a scoring touchdown, and as a fan you're like, yes, or no, and then it's like, oh wait, we got to stop everything, stop your instant gratification, stop your joy, stop your pain, because we got to go to the video and we got to look. And it's just like, I don't know.
Well, that happened in the Final Four when Auburn thought they had won the game, and the officials called the foul on Virginia's three-point shot. But again, that was the right call as well. Now, they didn't go back and check for the foul. You can't do that. But they went back to look at the time on the clock.
Right.
But, if you're a replay person, you can't complain when they get it right when you spend all your time complaining when they get it wrong. Now, I understand your point as well.
I'm not a replay person.
Right. If you just want to do away with replay and whatever happens, happens, I mean, I guess that's fine too. But the whole purpose of replay is to make sure you get the call right. They got it right.
Yeah, no, and I totally, I'm not arguing that point at all. I'm just saying it's gotten so, I guess minor league baseball's flirting now with the camera calling balls and strikes. Do they have an umpire there at all? Yeah. So how do they, what's he there for?
Back up.
I mean, I'm just saying, he just stands there, hey, what's going on? I'm just going to, can you bring me out a dog and a beer?
Look, no, it's just like you were in Vegas last week, right?
I was.
You may not have even noticed them, but there are all these self-driving cars on the road.
Now, I did not notice them. I heard about them, but
you know why you didn't notice them? Because there's somebody sitting behind the wheel.
Is that what's going on? Okay, I know I had heard about that, but I didn't know that they were doing that yet. Until I was out there. So you're right. I mean, you're absolutely right.
So,
I'm just,
same thing.
So soccer is football, world of football. I know you don't watch it, but now they have I think they call it VAR, where they can check they check for offsides, they check for make sure that how far the ball goes into the goal, if it's close. What's the percentage of the ball? I mean, we're getting so technical that I think it takes away from the human aspect of the actual sport.
Well, and that's what you've got to decide. Do you want the human aspect or do you want it right?
I love the human aspect.
Sure,
because
and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
I think there's just something to that. I mean, I still remember one time when the Lobos, Rocky Long was a coach, they went up to BYU and they got hosed on that holding call.
Right. I remember that by Bell.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
I remember it well.
Yeah, right, okay. Even look at last season's championship game, NFC championship game where the pass interference.
Right,
right.
They missed the call, yeah.
Saints totally got jobbed on that. I mean, there is no doubt about it. So now we're going to go and put pass interference into
replay, so something they can change.
I just think.
Well, hold on. Are you upset that they got jobbed?
I didn't care because I didn't care about either team. But I mean,
but you cared enough to bring it up to make your point.
Well,
so if you're upset about them getting jobbed, how can you not be happy that they're adding that to replay?
I don't mind them getting jobbed.
Okay.
I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's part of the game. It's
You're trying
part
to
of
have your cake and eat it too, Leroy.
No. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm totally down with them doing away with all of instant replay. What's next? MMA? We're going to start doing instant replay to make sure that do they have it?
In certain states, yes. They sure do.
So what? It's like, are we going to measure? It's like, did he bring the elbow down properly on the head or improperly? Was he doing this? It's like...
Dude, I get what you're saying, and I don't necessarily disagree with you about getting rid of all replay, but replay's here to stay.
Oh, I know. I totally get it, but it's just like at this point, we might as well just stick to what is it, esports, I guess they're called, and we'll just play esports and not even worry about it.
Well, in 20 years, that's what you'll be watching.
Yeah, you're probably right anyway.
The NFL anyway.
Yeah,
so
and I have told, because I know that the NMAA has esports here for New Mexico High School, and I think I saw something that college has.
Some colleges
esports now. It's just like I asked Adam. I said, "Are you going to start doing play-by-play here on ProView of esports?" I mean, why not?
Give it time.
I mean, does that excite you? Does that interest you?
You're not ever up late on a Friday night and flip by TBS and see esports on?
I do not. I didn't even know that they had that.
It happens, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And people, I guess there's that Twitch or whatever.
You're a college kid. You don't know about these things.
I mean, I play.
You're a college old man.
Look, I'm not going to lie. I do enjoy a good video game here or there.
But you like Pac-Man and Space Invaders.
No. I play like Call of Duty and
Do you?
okay. I tried that. What's that, Fortnite or whatever? I don't get it. Maybe I'm too old for it. I don't know. But I used to, I've played video games since Atari with Pong. My first was Pong. Do you remember Pong? Are you old enough to remember Pong?
And at the time, Pong was the greatest
thing
ever.
It was the bomb.
You look at it now, it's the one little square ball, and you're sitting there moving a line back and forth to hit it. Yeah.
Exactly. So, I mean, I've seen the growth of video games. I mean, I used to play pinball. I mean, even before Pong, I used to play pinball. I love that.
Were you a pinball wizard?
No, it wasn't that good, but I could play it. But I'm just saying, it's just like...
Because I've heard you called deaf, dumb, and blind before. So I didn't know. But if you play a
That's when I used to drink a lot. But, I mean... and I don't know if I was ever dumb. I seem to talk a lot.
Yeah, I didn't say you were.
Oh,
I just said I've heard you called
that. Okay.
That's all.
So anyway, I don't know. Like I said, I noticed that, and the game was good. Virginia, obviously, they stepped up when they needed to step up, and that was great.
Sure. Wow, we just came back full circle. Good job.
I did. You like the way that worked? So I don't know. Should we take a break now, or what do you want to do?
Well, I think we just covered all the world's problems.
Well,
Alden's
giving us the thumbs
problems.
up. So I guess we could do a replay and just run this on a loop the whole time.
No, let's not do that.
Let's not do that. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk. We got all kinds of news in the NBA. Lobo football is currently in spring practice. Major League Baseball has started. Does anyone care?
Yeah.
Okay. The Isadukes are going, or the Isadukachis?
No.
No? Are they the green chili cheeseburgers this year?
Yes, there's a green chili cheeseburgers.
Oh man, we're gonna have to like cram all these up.
There's 5 mariachi games. There's a Duke's retro night, and then there
isotopes, and then a green chili cheeseburger night.
Yeah.
1 or 2?
1 green chili cheeseburger.
One green, and I kind of like that.
I do too.
Mariachis are really cool. I think they should.
Like that as
they
well.
should probably keep that name.
Probably not.
No, you don't think so? You still think isotopes is cool? We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with Micah Frankel and CageMinds.com.
numbers now. Miller going to go all the way and one. Comes Taylor. Taylor, a little step through in the lane, high off the glass. Top, V-Hill long, straight up three, ring it up. The double comes nice, no look to Garcia, yes! Away with it, but he threw it away. Here's Heckroth. Heckroth, yes! Boatman going all the way off the window. On the layup attempt, no, yeah! Gilliford puts one up to beat the horn, yes! Nylon! Heilman, then it's lost. Nice steal. Oh, Foster comes over from the weak.
To right field. Back to the fence. Looking up. That ball is gone. The Cowboys win it on a 3-run walk-off by Augie Francis. Mercy. Augie Francis does it again for the Cowboys. Celebration at home plate. The Cowboys win it 13-10 on a 3-run walk-off by Augie.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Dreamstyle Remodeling has been wowing homeowners in New Mexico since 1989. Selected as Best Custom Home Remodeler for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Albuquerque Journal, we're also your exclusive provider for top home improvement brands like Renewal by Anderson, Four Seasons, Blaze King, and many others. Founded and headquartered in Albuquerque, Dreamstyle Remodeling is family-owned and now employs more than 500 people across the southwestern U.S. In fact, we've helped more than 60,000 homeowners improve their home in New Mexico, Arizona, California, Idaho, and West Texas. We're committed to providing a superior customer experience. We've earned 4.6 stars with hundreds of online reviews and have an A+ with the BBB. Dreamstyle Remodeling is a proud supporter of UNM Athletics. Visit our beautiful 10,000 square foot showroom at 1460 Renaissance Boulevard across from Sam's Club, or dreamstyleremodeling.com to make your home remodeling dreams come true.
Is this my car?
State Farm knows that for every one of those moments,
This is ridiculous!
there's one of these.
Is this my car? What? This is ridiculous.
This can't be happening!
This can't be happening.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Oh, it's happening, sweetheart.
Shut up.
Shut up!
That's why State Farm is there, with car insurance for when things go wrong, but also here with car loans to help life go right. State Farm.
Talk to State Farm agent Marty Size or Michelle Rudolph in Albuquerque today.
At Gala Chevrolet, our master technicians service every make and model no matter where you purchase your vehicle. But that's not all. We also provide certified service on every GM model. So if your car's been acting a little funny lately or something just doesn't seem right, don't wait. Bring it in to the most modern service facility in the entire state and let us make sure that you're driving a vehicle you and your family can depend on. Service done right the first time, every time, right here at the all-new Gala Chevrolet.
Welcome to Cage Minds, the place where we talk about people getting punched in the face. I'm Micah Frankel. Got a lot to talk about this week. We had an action-packed weekend last weekend. We started off with Duke City Lions. We had local action. We got some slides for you guys. Action went down at the Embassy Suites Homes Boxing. First time here in a while. Got going fast and furiously. Clinton Chavez only took 1 round to dispatch of short notice opponent Jimmy Archuleta, a successful debut for Chavez. Also on short notice, Oliver Parker jumps in against Bryant McLean. After 3 winless fights in a row, McLean, with a decision, back in the win column. The co-main event was the trilogy bout, Jordan Garcia versus Karina Mendoza. It was a unanimous decision as Garcia picks up her 2nd win in this trilogy. Up to the main event, where Fidel Maldonado put on a dazzling display. His left hand was on point. Vicious shots that Rodriguez was barely able to manage withstood, going to the decision. Maldonado the victory. Angelo Leo, his first fight on ShowBox, his first main event. He handles business, a clean sweep on the scorecards after 10 rounds, 100-88 across the board, a big victory. Saturday night, bare knuckle boxing took center stage on Fight TV. It took only 15 seconds for Chris Lieben to get a knockout victory in the co-main event. And then it was an epic encounter in the main event as Mississippi tough Jason Knight and Arden Lobov just swung it out dirty. Once you got to the decision, the judges saw unanimously in favor of Lobov, opening up the doors for the main event of Bare Knuckle FC6, being Lobov and Paulie Malignaggi, who had slapped him in the face earlier in the week. No, we're all going to be looking forward to that one as they've hyped it up as the anticipator to could you get Conor McGregor in the bare knuckle boxing arena to fight Malignaggi. That's what happened last weekend. As for this weekend's action, we're going to be starting out on UFC Fight Pass with boxing on Thursday night as Artem Globov, 15-1, is going to be taking on Manuel Alejandro Reyes, 10 rounds in New York. You have one championship Friday morning from Manila, the Philippines, one Roots of Honor. Martin Hewen defending the featherweight title against Naharad Janjabar. And then you also have the men's strawweight title on the line. A welterweight bout with Luis Santos and James Nakashima, not to mention B-Win making her ONE FC debut. Friday night, you can go over to Fight Pass for TKO 47. Jesse Ronson defending the lightweight title in that one. Also Friday night on ESPN Plus, you have a huge boxing card. Lomachenko, Corral fighting for WBA, WBO lightweight gold. Saturday night on Showtime, Clarissa Shields versus Christina Hammer. Basically all the women's middleweight titles are on the line here. It's a unification matchup. You also have another title belt on the card. More boxing Saturday night. You go over to the Zone and you're going to see Jamie Maguire and Dennis Hogan going 12 rounds for WBO junior middleweight title. Cap it all off Saturday night, UFC 236, 2 interim title fights. Gastelum Adesanya for the middleweight title in the co-main event. Poirier, Holloway 2, the main event for the interim lightweight title. Winner gets Nurmagomedov. Fingers crossed, hopefully. We thought that same thing with Ferguson. After that UFC event, you can go back to Fight Pass. They have a huge card, Pancrase, with 3 title fights in all on UFC Fight Pass. That's Pancrase 304. And 1 week from today, Absolute Muay Thai Lumpini 3 back on UFC Fight Pass. So a ton of action over the next week from ESPN Plus, The Zone, and UFC Fight Pass. Coming up here locally this weekend, you saw our guest last week, Nick Gonzalez, talking about it. Amateur kickboxing, nowhere to run at United Fit. Join us Saturday for the event. First time they're having this event. Sanctioned kickboxing. I cannot wait. Just like we can go to our next slide real quick, lead into our guest this week. We're just a little bit away from it. April 20th, Lion Fights is here in Albuquerque for the first time. Lion Fight 54. And to help us talk about the event on the card now, let's welcome in Mark Entenberg. Mark, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
2-1 in pro Muay Thai.
Yeah.
Training out of the Jackson Wink Academy.
Yep.
From Rochester, New York, right?
Yes, sir.
So let's start off with, how did you get from Rochester, New York to Albuquerque, New Mexico?
Yeah, so it was in 2016, I applied to live at the dorms. They didn't have the amateur program yet. And they let me come down for June and July. And my plan was to, after that, go to Thailand for 2 weeks and then at the time I had a job at home and I was going to school full time. But honestly, I just kind of fell in love with the constant training and kind of just approached the idea of going for it, and just stayed. So it kind of just happened on accident.
And how long have you been a martial artist?
So on and off, I mean, I grappled back in like 2010, and I did that for a few years. I mean, I wrestled a little bit in middle school and high school, but I've been training striking for about 4.5 years.
What was it that made you want to apply for the dorms to jump into this endeavor of training again?
Yeah, so when I was in Rochester, I was training at a few places, and I really wanted to fight, and the opportunity really wasn't there yet, and I honestly wasn't their skill level yet. So honestly, one day I was just kind of sitting there, and I was like, you know, like maybe I'll just apply and see what they say, and you know, I can get some good training in and learn a lot of things. You know, at the time, you know, I knew John Jones was out here, Holly Holm, and a lot of other people. So I applied, and I thought they were going to send me like a list, like we want to see this, this, and this from you, and then you can come down. But instead, they kind of sent me a response that was, give it a try. So I just went for it.
Now you've been down here, you were training MMA.
Yep.
But you did end up going to Thailand for a couple times?
Yeah, so I did one MMA fight here in 2016 out in Colorado, which was awesome. I really did enjoy it. And then I went to Thailand in November of 2017, and then I went twice last year too, in August and November again.
And how has that experience changed your outlook on the fight game and the type of career you're pursuing?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed like in a lot of ways. I think kind of just the fighting culture out there in Thailand is a bit different than here. There's really, I mean, of course there's rivalries between people, but it's such a common thing that happens almost every night that it's, if you want to fight, great, and it's about kind of you and what you want to do. And obviously there's people that are fighting for their family and, you know, from a young age and on, but there's really just not that animosity in terms of like that tough guy persona. And not to say that that's how it is with every person here, but you do see that a lot, you know, where it's about just kind of presenting that image of yourself versus is it something you really love to do. And that was something you could also see there. Like I just felt there's always that idea of seeing someone who wants to fight versus someone who has to fight, because you could see out there are definitely people who had to fight, and then you'd be able to see some really amazing Muay Thai technicians that were just phenomenal, and you can just see how much they loved it. And you know, just the presence of when they come to the ring and the Y crew and all that just kind of really brought me into like, wow, these guys like love what they're doing. And it's not about just like this animosity they have towards this other person, but it's really just performing at their best and just going for it. And it's inspired me a lot, especially when I was down in Thailand, like just seeing some of the kids at the gym train. You know, they just went in with such courage. You know, like obviously there's always nerves before a fight, but these kids were just ready to go, and they just went in and did their thing. And you know, and I've met some really great fighters out there that have inspired me quite a bit.
And all this has led to you really focusing on pursuing Muay Thai as your number one focus.
Absolutely, yeah.
What was it like, the experience, not just training, but you fought? That's where your professional experience is really in Thailand. That's Thai level experience.
Yeah, so I think like with the whole Thai like pro fighting, there's so many different levels to it, you know, because sometimes you're not guaranteed that you're fighting like a high level pro. Sometimes you know who you're fighting, sometimes you don't. But like I said, the spectrum is so large because there really isn't that amateur scene. But in terms of like the pro rule set, that's always there. The first one was super nerve-wracking because I didn't know who I was fighting, and you just don't know what to expect. Like you hear things and you get to the stadium and they're kind of like, that's the person you're going to be fighting. I remember just thinking like, man, like how do I keep getting tall people? I thought I was definitely going to have a shorter Thai person than me, but somehow I got a taller Thai than me, which was interesting. But no, I mean, it was one of the best experiences I've had. You know, it's just really pushing through. And then the second one was probably my best fight I've ever had, just in terms of like feeling behind it. But each one has been an experience. Like the third one was completely different. I was fighting like a bigger, tougher opponent, and you know, it's kind of just learning how to approach each fight and kind of finding my own in that.
And then having all of the fight experience you've had, be in Thailand, were you expecting it was going to be hard to get on the Muay Thai circuit back here in America?
To be honest, I didn't even really plan on it. So for a while, my main goal was to be able to go back out there for close to full time and just kind of take my time and just build fights and kind of keep going that way. But when I came back from this last trip, my roommate had told me that Lion Fight was coming here and it's an opportunity I really should jump on, and some of my other teammates from the gym said the same thing, and it kind of just fell together. I definitely didn't think that it was going to be something that was attainable right away, especially to get on their pro card. Just because like when I started this, like I started watching Lion Fight highlights, so it's kind of like, for me in a way, it's almost like a UFC debut, you know, because at the end of the day, like in the U.S., in my opinion, for Muay Thai, you're going to have Lion Fight as the top organization. For K1, you're going to have Glory. So if those are your sports, that's kind of like the top you can get. So for me, it's a super special thing.
And exactly, that's something that I definitely wanted you to point out to let people know. You can totally understand how big, how important, how special this event really is, that we're getting Lion Fights to come here.
Yeah.
Now, with the fight, you're going to be taking on Sean Baca, somebody that I know has been on the amateur circuit competing for quite a while. What do you know about Sean?
So what I know about Sean is like what you said. I know that he's been on the amateur circuit. I know that him and his brothers have fought, or it might just be one brother, but I know that, they fought. I think I fought on a smoker long time ago with his brother, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. I mean, I know he loves Muay Thai. I haven't seen much, but some of the things he said I really appreciate. I know he runs his own school, and he's talked about kind of the art of Muay Thai and how he feels about it, and it being kind of a family thing, and I respect it, you know. But I think, like I said, there's no hostility. I think we're both going in there to perform at our best, and I mean, it's all business at that point. But I mean, I've heard he's a talented guy. He's a tough guy. I know some people at the gym know him, and they've said nothing but good things. So I definitely know it's going to be a fight, and that he's going to bring his best.
And for people also that haven't seen it, they don't understand it, what should they expect from a Muay Thai bout?
So I think with a Muay Thai bout, it's going to be it's kind of different when you go from the amateur times to the pro times in terms of the rounds. So a lot of the time in Thailand, the first rounds are a bit slower. I don't expect it will be that way this time. But it is a lot of time of striking. It's going to be 15 minutes long, so there's 5 3-minute rounds. In the amateurs, it's 3-2, so it's kind of like consistent going the whole time. And I think that with this, you still definitely want to move forward and be aggressive, but you're definitely pacing yourself in a way. I mean, you've got a lot of time together.
And then is that something you've had to work on? You've learned out there in Thailand, and they do traditionally slow it down. But here in America, they really don't waste any moment of those 5 rounds.
Yeah, no, they go for it kind of right away, and then you'll kind of see it slow down in a way towards the later ones, kind of just depending on conditioning. But I think out there sometimes it actually picks up. Like it'll kind of be slower to a high pace, and then a lot of clinching and kind of mid-pace ending rounds. So it kind of picks up out there, in my opinion.
And what could you tell us about your style? You liking the clinch? You a little more at range? What do you like?
I mean, I like the clinch. I mean, I like to be in kicking range. I mean, it's kind of hard to say because I kind of like a bit of everything. I definitely like being in boxing range, but you know, I try and be just as fluid as I can, and you know, really just kind of pick my shots, I guess you could say. Like I'm definitely not a guy that's gonna be running, just trying to throw the kitchen sink. That doesn't mean, I mean, I definitely try and be the aggressor, but I definitely try and take my time with finding things.
And come April 20th, you're doing something incredibly impressive, donating your check after the fight to the incredible adaptive MMA program, working with special needs people and showing them martial arts.
Yeah.
You're also a coach, so could you talk about what you do in the program and also the charity you're doing?
Sure. So for the incredible adaptive MMA program, we started, I think I got my first students about a year ago. But we, like you said, we work with children with all kinds of special needs. And honestly, they work harder than anyone that I've ever worked with. Each student is different. You know, they all have different challenges. So it's a lot of fun because you kind of build a special relationship with each student you work with, because everyone has a different way of teaching, or excuse me, of understanding. So I have to kind of teach things a different way. You know, there's no same structure for student A, student B, or student C. They all kind of have their own challenges that we work through. So you kind of get to know each other in that way. So it's been a really rewarding experience for me because it's shown me it's improved my work ethic in a way, because you just see how most of the time, like even when there's a break in the rounds, these kids don't want breaks. They just want to keep going, you know, and it just kind of makes you think like how you should be. And they don't ever really question what we're doing. They just do it. It's the same thing like when you're with your coach, like, do you question or do you just go for it and trust in them? So that, and it's just been a great experience getting to work with all the students that I've gotten to work with, and I'm really happy to be able to give back to them. I mean, for me, like I said, it kind of came out here on accident. So this was never about money for me. I mean, someday hopefully, but I'm happy to do this, you know, and to give this to the program so that it can grow. It's something I really do believe in. I think all the coaches that we have are phenomenal. And I honestly think I'm probably one of the least experienced coaches in terms of fight time, but there's some really phenomenal coaches that have trained everywhere, had tons of fights, and you know, I know that the students love what we're doing.
Awesome, you guys. Lion Fights is coming. It's April 20th. Mark, thank you so much for the time here today. You guys, it's a lot of fights coming up this weekend. Like I said, local action kickboxing this weekend. Following weekend, Lion Fights at Route 66 Casino. Get out and support your local fighters. We'll have more Red Menace TV in just a moment.
Get into the game with Garden Swartz Team Sales. They have everything you need, from screen printing, embroidery, and digital services, high school letterman jackets, and all high school and club uniforms, and individual and team apparel with the most reliable brands like Speedline, Rollins, and Wilson. And don't forget to check out the latest F7 Shut helmet. It's all at Garden Swartz Team Sales. Give them a call, 505-884-1234. Garden Swartz Team Sales.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Crafters, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Are we doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No!
Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car crafters, it's like it never happened.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a #1. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a boot real tough, like the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot. It's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Barley Brew, proud sponsor of ProView Networks for over 9 years, is pleased to introduce Black Iron Catering. From weddings and family reunions to birthdays and office parties, Black Iron is perfect for any event. Contact Jamie at 505-459-8259 and book your event today. Black Iron Catering, let us bring our kitchen to you.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're...
Well, do we have any Cummings?